We are at Lake Crescent in Washington State today. It's a beautiful Friday morning and conditions are really tranquil. We've got almost no wind. Lake is beautifully clear. You can see 3 kayakers out there in the middle. And we're going to head up the shore here to the right and then along the south shore of the lake to Devil's Punchbowl over to the main lodge. Should get some spectacular scenery. It's just so pristine with all these forests. The water is actually not too cold, which is surprising because we're in the Olympic National Forest here and it's only late May, so I would have expected it to be way colder. That's a good temperature for a swim. This water is absolutely incredibly clear. I think the only other place we've seen water this clear is Cochise Lake in the North Cascades. But sadly, that's part of a Yakima irrigation scheme, and that lake hasn't been full for years. It's only running at about 60%, even after all the spring runoff. We're staying in these chalets, the one on the end on that side, right on the water, really beautiful. This is Log Cabin Resort. They have those chalets, they have camping here on the right, several campsites, RV sites as well with water and electric. There's a dump station. And there's a proper lodge back behind us that has, I think, rooms around it too, right? There's a few rooms by the lodge and then they have breakfasts and lunch and dinner.
I like this property.
Yeah, there's quaint little cabins all along the shore. Yeah, beautiful lot, you know. Gently sloping grass down to the water. And it's mostly sandy bottom here. I think it's an ornamental lighthouse. Oh yeah, look at the tiny chicks. They're jumping out of the water. We're paddling our favorite kayaks today, 16-foot touring kayaks with dual bulkheads and rudders, perfect for these sheltered flat water conditions. So according to the AI, this lake is formed during the glacial period and there's no dam on it, it's a natural lake. I hear running water at the end here. This is the northern point of the lake. One thing that really hits you paddling on this lake is just the clarity of the water. It's got that sort of turquoise look to it in the sun from glacial. And Karen and I saw fish jumping in the lake from the shoreline there near the cottages. So it's supposed to be good for fishing, although I haven't seen any fish. I'm probably in deeper water. Yeah, so you can see the road there going around the north point of the lake. And then we're actually going to do a bike ride. We'll ride up there along that road, and then there's a rail to trail. There's an old railroad on the north side of the lake called the Spruce Railroad It was made during the First World War to harvest the spruce trees so they could make more planes. But since then they've converted it into a bike trail, you know, walking, jogging, whatever. Oh, beautiful big eagle in the trees there. So as I said about the Spruce Railroad, we're going to take an e-bike ride along it tomorrow. I believe it's 8 or 9 miles long. Should be incredible. Just look at the incredible color of this water. It's like it's a slate blue. You can see the trees lying on the bottom. I would guess that the visibility is probably 50 to 100 feet. So we're now along the north shore of the lake, and just in there is the Spruce Railroad Trail. And pretty soon we're going to come up for a very special viewpoint called the Devil's Punchbowl. It's a highly rated attraction here on the lake. Sometimes you see the most interesting plants growing out of these floating logs. When Karen and I were paddling on Orcas Island, there's a lake called Mountain Lake. And we saw these spoonleaf sundew plants, which are actually carnivorous plants. I haven't seen that particular plant here, but I'll put a link to that video. Really interesting. It feels like you're gliding on air, hey? Look at this clarity. Spectacular. One thing you don't see on this lake is big stumps below the surface, because it's not man-made. I mean, this lake has been here since glacial times. Whereas Cochise Lake, you know, there are stumps because they've built a dam and flooded it within the last, I don't know, 100 years or so. What a... Yes, this looks like a really good picnic site, and if you're doing that Spruce Trail, good swimming spot. Do you see that tunnel there, Kay? So the Spruce Railroad goes through a tunnel right there. You can see the entrance to it. You can see several more kayakers over there, and you can actually rent kayaks from the log cabin resort that we're staying at. You can actually see the A-frames way back there. But they have a dock and, you know, kayak rentals. They actually do bike rentals as well for the trail here. But then there's the even bigger lodge on the south shore of the lake. We'll see it as we go around this corner. I think you can also rent boats there. Oh, is this Devil's Punchbowl? Cool. It is smaller than I expected, but it's very pretty. Probably a nice swimming hole. It looks really deep.
I would imagine it's somewhat comfortable. Not fully in, but you could. I mean, I'm not saying you're swimming it.
See all the wildflowers growing up on the side there. Yeah, definitely a great swimming hole. Look how deep it is. You probably jump right off that bridge. Although it's pretty cold. It'll be like a race to get out as quickly as you can. Okay, so as we pass the corner up ahead, we should see the main lodge area, and Karen and I are going to shoot across there and have a little picnic lunch and sit in the sun, maybe have a swim. We're really taking the whole day, just relaxing paddle along the sides of the lake. It's actually a really large lake. We won't even cover the whole section of it. We'll probably do about half of it. There's some more kayakers. They look like they may have come from the lodge area. The main lodge, I mean. These huge boulders under the surface that must have rolled down here during a landslide. So at this point up ahead, Karen and I are going to take a left turn and shoot across the lake. The crossing here is about just under half a mile, and the conditions look perfect. And we're going to head over there to where the main lodge is and just go along that shore. That's the south shore of the lake. Should be some cool stuff to see and some nice beaches to pull up on for a picnic lunch and a swim maybe. Definitely feel like I could use a swim now. It's pretty warm. Temperatures are about probably in the 70s already. Very light breeze, maybe 1 or 2 knots. It's really perfect, just enough to prevent you from overheating. So we're heading towards the south side of the lake, and straight ahead I think that's the main lodge. And that is the west inlet, heading just past Karen there. We're not going to go all the way up there, but you could take a day trip all the way up there. I mean, there's a whole other day trip there. At the end of that inlet is the Fairholme campground. So it's another whole campground if you want to camp on the lake. I think the main lodge is down this way. There's multiple nature trails that run along the shore here, and beaches to stop at. I think these trails actually go to the main lodge just up ahead. Nice for a day trip. Look at all these fish. There's a huge school of fish. Amazing.
Fish?
Yeah, there's a huge school of fish, and a big one came up and then they all scattered. Like, I think a predator fish was. Yeah. You can see some of the accommodations of the main lodge there. Definitely plenty of kayak rentals, and looks like paddleboard rentals as well if you didn't bring your own. This is the main lodge right here near the dock. What perfect conditions for a paddle though, hey?
I know. Really beautiful.
So cool to be able to pull up on the beach right by the main lodge here. You don't have to worry about the tide here.
Jesus, Patty.
Seat cushions. Oh, perfect. We've even got a bit of sun. Okay, that's pretty cool. Oh yeah, refreshing. What was notable about the paddle for you, Kay?
The clear water.
Yeah.
You could see down, and just the beautiful turquoise color.
Yeah, stunning blue color.
And very calm conditions.
And for birds, we saw lots of ducks and
Bald
eagles,
eagle,
swallows.
Canada geese.
Oh yeah, they were everywhere. But yeah, it was really fun paddling along the shore. We saw fish, salamanders coming up to the surface, which was very unusual. I didn't know they did that.
Deer on the
Deer,
shore.
plenty of deer, yeah. But quite calm actually, nestled in these mountains. Obviously don't need to worry about the tide, no currents, but I think the wind can come up sometimes, so it's good to watch it. Today it was perfect, day. I don't think it's going above 4 knots today. But yeah, I think the total distance round trip from Log Cabin Resort to here and then back it's about 7 miles. I'll check the exact, but
Okay.
it's a great day trip. But
Yeah, it's good.
you could, if you were staying here, you could do a separate day trip all the way up there. There's another campsite up the west end there called Fairholme Campsite at the end of the inlet.
Yeah, I'm excited to try the bike trail tomorrow.
Yeah, me too. That's going to be great.